It's time for Apple Farm Chatter, your podcast for all things Apple Farm Service, the latest ag news, dealership events, and upcoming trends. Put on your work clothes. Apple Farm Chatter begins now.
Hello and welcome back to Apple Farm Chatter. Kent Holmes here, along with Travis Wolf and a special guest today, Brandon Stith from The Ohio State University. And we want to welcome you back. It's been a while since we've had a podcast. It's been almost a year, and so it's good to be back. We got another year's worth of podcasts lined up. As always, to give you a heads up, we try to do this as live as possible. So all of this is recorded in one take, and I think we'll have a good time. In fact, we already have Brandon's cell phone call. We have a new guest.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
So Brandon is joining us here from the Ohio State University. We're actually here live at the Ohio Turf and Research Facility here, just right outside. Well, still technically in Columbus.
Yep.
You can see the skyline from here, and we're in the conference room here. And I guess, Brandon, your official title is you are the Turfgrass and Grands Manager at the Ohio State Waterman College of Food, Agriculture, and Environmental Sciences. That is a mouthful, but
yes.
So Brandon, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so Brandon, what do you do here at Ohio State?
So my main role here is I maintain the turf research facility. We have 1.5 acres of bent grass putting greens, and then another 1.5 acres of bent grass fairways, and then about 4 or 5 acres of what we call our high cut turf. So our perennial ryegrasses, turf type tall fescues, Kentucky bluegrasses, and that's mostly for either sports turf research or stuff you would see like on a home lawn with fertilizers, herbicides, and things like that. So a lot of different services to maintain, and then we also manage the grounds for the entire farm as well here at Waterman. So we do everything from regular zero-turn mowing to precision cut with greens mowers cut at almost 1/8 of an inch. So it ranges quite a bit.
Yeah, we noticed when we pulled in, the garage was open, and you had a plethora of, I don't know, what all did you see in there, Travis?
Oh, there was just so much stuff to see. I didn't even take note. You had the mowers, of course. Did you say there was like an air or something?
Yeah, there was aerators. You had a little bit of everything out there. So, and I guess it's a research facility by Ohio State, so you have students out here probably often.
Yep.
And so, kind of, you mentioned all the different kind of grasses. What are some of the different types of research they do?
So I don't do any of the active research. I kind of just do the maintaining of the plot space. But right now we have a few different cultivar trials, some bent grass and tall fescues, specifically with the A-list trials. So the Alliance of Low Input Sustainable Turf Grasses. I think I got that right. But looking at, what are the best cultivars or the highest rating of these cultivars that require the least amount of inputs. So looking at how much, can you put down less fertilizer a year to get the best results, and how they can crowd out weeds, things like that. But then we also have a large turf grass pathology program ran by Todd Hicks. Does a lot of trial work looking at different diseases and fungicides that he does a bunch of contract work with as well. But yeah, we've had a lot of new faculty in the last 2 years since I started here, which has been a big uptick in research, which has been awesome. Dr. Tyler Carr, who is our new turf grass extension specialist, he's the one putting on these A-list trials. We've done a lot of plot renovation, so we had about 1/3 of an acre of putting green that we renovated to a sand-based root zone that we did. It'll be 2 years this fall. We have a lot of native clay soil out there, and so they wanted to have some sand-based root zones. So we, with the help of some faculty and funding that project, and the help of the Ohio Turfgrass Foundation, who actually built this building and does a lot of support with our equipment and research as well. So yeah, a lot goes on out here. There's a lot of moving parts.
It sounds like a lot. I mean, we came here, you were out spraying when we got here.
Yeah.
And we saw about 3 people mowing out there. I mean, I'm guessing this time of the year, you guys are nonstop.
Yeah, when I first started here, it was not as busy. And I always hear about like the earlier years where it was very busy out here, a lot of graduate students, a lot of undergrads. But I think we're at that point now. We've got 5, undergrads working here. Right now, there's 2 graduate students out here, maybe three actually. And then we've got technicians with the faculty members and then the faculty members themselves doing the research. So yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces. There's never a really set schedule for me. It's kind of just we can plan as much as we want, but things kind of get thrown out. But that's the whole nature of this entire green industry, I think.
It's always growing.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, thanks, Brandon, for joining us. I know when I called you, I said we have some questions for you.
Yeah.
Of course, Apple Farm Service, big supplier of lawn and garden pieces, especially zero-turn mowers and large to small residential mowers and Echo and Still and some other brands that we carry too. So we got a lot of our customers who have a lot of lawn questions for you, and exactly what you do is making sure that they know how to take care of their lawn under certain situations. So I think we're going to take a very quick commercial break. I think it's the only commercial we have. And then we will come back and we have some questions to grill you with. So we'll be right back, and we'll be back with that. You're listening to Apple Farm Chatter.
Oh, hello there. I'm that neighbor who always mows at the most inconvenient time.
Mows at the most inconvenient time.
Your kid's having an outdoor birthday party? I don't care.
You don't care. He's gonna mow.
It's 4:30 in the morning. Are you sleeping?
Are you sleeping?
No, because I'm already up mowing for the 3rd time this week.
3rd time. Not obsessive at all.
I heard you have a new baby. Congratulations. When's the little one's nap time? Oh, really? That's my mowing time.
It's your crying baby, not mine.
Oh, you came out to tell me something? Good thing I'll ignore you while I make another pass.
My priorities are so long.
When it comes to your mowing addictions, choose the mower that won't let you down. Grasshopper. With award-winning comfort, reliability, and powerful lights, you'll be able to mow and mow and mow and mow till you're the talk of the neighborhood. Learn more at your local Apple Farm Service.
All right. Welcome back to Apple Farm Chatter. And so, Brandon, we thought we'd do something a little bit different rather than just ask you just basic questions. We are going to ask you questions in the form of Dear John letters. So,
good.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
When something is troubling you and you're not sure who to turn to, just write to John. What ails you? Just ask John. It's time to just ask John.
Some serious music to set the tone here for you, Brandon. So, Travis, I think we have your first Dear John question.
Yep. Dear John, like most middle-aged men, I've noticed a sad trend. Every time I play with my hair, I find more and more hair falling out. I've tried to grow it out longer to cover up the balding spots, and even tried using coloring to blend it in. It's starting to look pretty obvious now. Any suggestions to get my bald spots growing again? Your follower and friend by pen, Shaggy Clippings.
I think you'll get a trend on our hair puns on this, Brandon.
Yeah. I can't make a promise I'm going to follow the puns with my answers.
Okay.
I'll be quite honest with you. Yeah, so a thinning lawn, typically a lawn is going to start thinning out. It might be lacking in fertility, so if you're not fertilizing your lawn, that could be an issue. It could be a shade issue as well, not enough sunlight. I hear a lot of people move into their homes and they put a tree out front and their lawn looks great, and then they stay there for 30 years, and then they're calling someone going, our lawn looks so good for 15, 20 years, and now it's we can't grow grass. It's thin. I was like, yeah, your tree grew. So how much lighter is your lawn getting? Water? Do you have if it's a new construction build? If check the soil. What's below it? Is it rocky? That could be an issue, soil issue. Could have concrete chunks underneath, something like that. So always look at how much your fertilizer you're putting down, nitrogen, light, how much light's getting per day, at what time of day, and then what's below the soil. You could have some debris down in there. And then how often are you mowing it? If you're letting your lawn grow up real tall for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then chopping it down, that'll cause it to thin. So yeah, or if you've applied any chemicals as well. If your local lawn care company has applied something, maybe reach out to them to check. Or if you've decided to apply your own chemicals bought from Lowe's or Home Depot, then maybe check at that. But yeah, there's really no straight answer.
No, it sounds like if shaggy clippings, if you're balding, it might just be good just to reach out or have somebody come out and check out, see what you're doing. But
yeah,
you ready for number 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Dear John, I've been hearing conflicting advice from my neighbors and friends. I'm hoping you could help clear the yard for me. When it comes to getting haircuts, I get mixed opinions. Some say it's best to get very regular haircuts. Others say it's good to let the hair grow out, then get larger cuts. The ones saying to get more haircuts say it's good to get smaller clippings so you don't stress out your hair. The other ones say that getting too many haircuts actually stresses out your hair more. John, which one do you prefer and why? Always stylish. Thanks to you, Clip Inglesfloor.
Yeah, it depends on this time of year when your lawn's growing, or your hair, I guess, is growing like crazy. I can't do the puns. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All good.
Yeah. This time of year, if you have a fertilized lawn, in Ohio, and you're getting rain pretty much twice a week, your lawn's going to be growing like crazy, with a lot of cooler nights and warmer days. So this time of year in the spring, I'd say mow it twice a week. Sometimes 3 if you have to. I would probably not do that. It's just a lot of time. But the rule to follow is not to mow off more than a third of that grass leaf blade. If it looks like you missed a week, or for whatever reason saw a huge uptick in growth since the 6 days since you mowed, maybe take that mower and bring the height up. And with that, make sure you're checking your blades often. Make sure they're sharp. If they're not sharp, get them sharpened. A nice clean cut on those leaf blades allows for a much healthier plant. And if it's dull, you'll have a nice jagged edge on there that looks like it was torn, not cut. So that allows for more disease pathogens, and that just gives your lawn like a frosted tip look almost. So yeah, just make sure you're not cutting off more than a third of leaf blade. If you have to, I get it, then do so, but mow slow and make sure you get everything and blow off your clippings, spread them out, do whatever you can.
That's one thing that I've never heard before that I'll have to try. So don't cut more than a third of the length of the blade.
Yeah, that's the general rule. Now, I mean, this time of year, like I got pretty busy in the last week and a half, so my backyard got tall, like probably 10 inches, some seed head areas, but I live in a small development, but I took my lawnmower back there, and I think I mowed it 3 times.
Okay, so don't cut it for Clip Inglesfloor, who set this in. Don't cut it halfway down or thirds of the way down. Yeah. Make multiple cuts. Is what
if you want to mow it one day, I could tell you a million different ways to do it, but I always tell people, keep it higher in the summer, a little bit lower in the spring if you want. But you have to stay on top of it if you're gonna be mowing it low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
People think that a low mow lawn means you have to mow less, which that doesn't make sense. You might not, because you might end up with if you're scalping your lawn, you might end up with more weeds that are easier to mow. So
this is a good point. That is a very good point.
Yeah.
All right, ready for next letter?
Speaking of unwanted pests, our next question says, Dear John, I used to have an extremely well-maintained mane. In fact, it was the envy of the entire block. However, I write to you because my age is starting to show. More and more unwanted gray hairs are starting to show up. In your advice, do you think it's best to pluck these pests Or is there some sort of formula or potion that will eliminate these unwanted gray hairs? I'm wanting to get rid of them now, but I also don't want to do any future damage to the rest of my beautiful mop of hair. With no vanity at all, I need a haircut.
So, I'm like crushing your guys' entire well thought out puns
it's all
here.
good.
You're
What
good.
is in this case? What's the unwanted gray hairs? The weeds?
We'll go with
Oh,
weeds, yeah. Anita
sure.
has some weeds.
Yeah, you can apply your own lawn herbicide from your local store. I'm not going to advise anyone that's unlicensed or untrained to do so. So if you want to use like a granular product, what you would call a weed and feed, I recommend using that granular product. Follow the bag directions with the intended spreader, and only apply that if you're, in the morning dew, so that those granules will stick to the leaf blade of the weed. Otherwise, they're much more slower acting, from what I've seen sometimes. But I believe that's an intended purpose. But
Okay. I mean, that's something that when I spread, I always want. So you want them to have contact. It's not a root that
yeah,
kills it.
I believe so.
Okay.
Now, just read the bag. Actually, I'm just gonna say this: read the label of whatever product you use and follow the directions for the best results.
That can be said about everything.
Exactly. Yes. And then if you don't feel comfortable applying your own herbicide or your own pesticide, I think that's pretty understandable. Especially if you're going to the store and you're spending money on your products. You get buy a spreader. You might have to buy a small spreader or sprayer, backpack sprayer, equipment that people don't want laying around their garage, especially if you got young kids, whatever. Just contact a reputable lawn service in your area, and have them identify the weeds in your lawn and how long they think that it'll take to kind of get rid of them. So either go to the store, follow the directions on whatever product you're using, and if you don't feel comfortable doing so, contact a reputable company.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is, do you have a preference then between using like a spray or chemical or just pulling the weed?
I mean, like if you have a lot of thistle on your lawn, pulling the weeds is not always the best. Sometimes, like with weeds like any like Canadian thistle or anything like that in your lawn, one is just not fun to pull. You get thorns in your hands, and it might make it worse sometimes. But yeah, it depends on what you want. If you want to take a non-chemical approach and handpick your weeds, then you can do so, especially in these, much smaller residential lawns. Or yeah, I can't really say I prefer either, but personally, I usually will spray my weeds. But those granular products, I've seen them work on a lot of the more common broadleaf weeds.
Okay. All right, ready for your next question?
Yep.
And it's perfectly fine if you don't follow the hair puns.
All right, cool. I will
Dear-
say that every time you do one.
Dear John, I've had scalp issues every summer. It's been an embarrassing problem since I could grow hair. Every year it's the same issues. My hair comes in just fine when it's cooler weather. Then that hot summer sun hits me in July and August. My scalp always dries out. I can add moisturizer and more moisturizer, but it doesn't last long, and with it goes my hair. Any suggestions? Should I add anything to my scalp? Any procedures or steps so it doesn't dry out so bad? Gratefully, Dusty Fields.
All right, Dusty. Yeah, Dusty, I would mow your lawn a little bit higher. If you're mowing it around like 3.5, maybe 4 inches in those hot summer months, you're gonna lose a lot less water, evaporation. If you're anticipating some warmer weather and your lawn tends to get dry, be proactive. Stick the sprinkler out there. Everybody says don't water it overnight. Not everyone has the time in the morning to stick a sprinkler in the lawn for 45 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. So, get that sprinkler out towards the end of the night, maybe. Make sure humidity's relatively low for the night, but stick out there and monitor it, and maybe take a screwdriver, and, if it gives you any resistance, when you're pushing a screwdriver in, that means it's probably relatively dry. But if that screwdriver goes in all the way down, that means you've got a relatively moist soil. But if your lawn's scalpy and dry There might be some compaction issues as well, so it might need some hollow tine core aeration. But yeah, if you got the ability to water your lawn, Dusty, go ahead and water it and
Okay.
mow it a little higher.
Well, thank you, Brandon John. All right, we got 2 left, so here's one of 2 more.
Yep. Dear John, I'm a man of habit, and I've always gotten my haircuts in the middle of the day. I guess I've always done it out of convenience. However, my wife did some research and told me that that's not good for my hair. I understand that my hair gets stressed out during the cut, and maybe during the hottest part of the day isn't ideal then. My question is, when's the best time to get a cut? First thing in the morning? Evening? Does it matter? And why? With regularity, Sherlock Combs.
All right, Mr. Combs. Yeah, I mean, if we're in the middle of like a drought, and you mow your lawn low and you do it, and it's 98 degrees out for like the 10th day in a row with no rain or anything like that, maybe lay off the lawn, Sherlock. Maybe let it go. But I don't know. I've really never thought of time of day mowing. Yeah, I mean, sure, if you mow it in the afternoon, the leaf blades dry, there's no dew present on the leaf blades, so you might have an easier time with clippings. Early morning gets kind of clumpy, so I don't know, maybe have your wife contact your local extension agent to discuss her research findings.
There you go. Sounds like a new research project here at the Ohio Turfgrass Foundation.
Get some funding for it.
Yeah. All right, one more question. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, last question. Dear John, I'm having a lot of issues trying to regrow my hair. Help! Everything I've tried, lotions, expensive Rogaine, and even hair transplants. Seems like nothing I do lasts for long. I'm starting to really think that it's something more to do with my scalp than what I'm using to try to grow back my hair with. Is there any place I can go where they check out my scalp and research my scalp to see if there's some reason why I can't get my hair to come back? Looking forward to your help, Julius Scissor.
All right, yeah, I guess this kind of goes back to the first question? Yeah, your soil health is important. Your different soil properties. Take a soil sample. You find plenty of videos online where you can send it into a lab. I'd recommend sending to a university, and then speak with a professional that would be able to recommend any type of soil amendment products, whether it means starting over on the lawn, adding topsoil, or it means just changing your fertility plan. Or just really dense compaction, and trying to amend that with some type of aeration.
Awesome. I was wrong. We did have one more.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's
we
fine.
forgot to flip the page.
One
last question for you.
All right. And it reads, Dear John, I'm very particular how people cut my hair. That's why I've always given my own haircuts. Recently, I purchased some new clippers from the local dealership, and I'm excited to try them out. I've noticed that all the dealerships I visited said something about clipper speed. I want your honest advice. How much does clipper speed really matter? How slow is too slow where it starts to pull and hurt my hair? Does it also hurt the quality of my hair if I set clippers too fast? I've heard bad stories about broke ends. Looking for a breath of fresh hair. Jack of all fades.
All right. For mower blade speed, I don't know of any rotary mowers, unless you guys sell mowers. I mean, if you're operating
we have rotary mowers and
with variable like speeds.
Well, not so much. A lot of folks, if they just want to change the speed, if it's a high-end mower, they'll just adjust the throttle.
Oh, yeah, operate
so
that thing all the way up. Yeah, it's like driving a Mustang without putting your foot down the pedal.
So what you're saying is, faster the cutting speed of the blade is better.
Yeah, I mean,
always, no matter what.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would say if I'm operating like a zero turn or something, if you're operating a zero turn and you're going at a relatively decent speed and you have that throttle, let's say at 50%, I mean, you're going to get less than desirable results. But if you have that thing all the way up like it's intended to run at, its factory specs and RPM, then yeah, I think you'll get a much better result and make sure your blades are sharp and not bent. So, yeah, faster, I guess, is better.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so there's no like, oh, if you go too fast, then it's going to do a bad job or.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can have that. If your lawn's out of control, and in terms of height, like mine was, and you went fast, then you'll probably see some grass blades just laying over and not actually getting mowed. But if you stay on top of your lawn and you mow it very regularly, and then yeah, if you can go fast, and I wouldn't say go fast. That's not safe, right? Right, guys?
Well,
Never go too fast.
Always make sure you follow precautions. If your mower has a seatbelt, use it. If it's got ROPS, make sure it is up. But
Yes.
100% must done all the time.
Yes. Always. Yes.
Always, always. Well, thank you so much, Brandon, for playing with us and answering our Dear John letters.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for all of the folks that sent their letters in that somehow all had some type of a hair pun too. So we appreciate that.
Poetic
You
writers.
guys coordinated. It made things so much easier for us. Thank you so much.
So we are going to take a quick break here, and we're going to actually have a special guest come on out. Steve Irwin's younger brother. Frank. So Frank has decided to join us with a segment that we'll have about once a week called Crop Critters. So we'll be right back after this report from our friend Frank Irwin.
It's Critter Creature Time with Frank Irwin. Explore the wilderness of your field, woods, or yard with Steve's little brother, Irwin. Get your hiking boots on. It's Critter Creature Time. G'day, mates. Frank Irwin here. And today we're talking another fascinating look at all the little critters around you and your crops. Don't you ignore these blokes, especially when your lawn is looking more like the outback. Our little friend the grasshopper is often considered small, but I don't know about you. But I don't think 72 inches is small, even in centimeters. These buggers eat everything in their path, and they don't even slow down to put any Vegemite on it. Let's go get a look at one of these little buggers for ourselves. And the best way to do it is to listen for a moment, to hear the little gentle chirping of a grasshopper. There's no mistaking that call. Let's watch as the powerful grasshopper sweeps across the field. I mean, look at that little fella mowing. He looks as comfortable as a little roo in his mama's pouch as she was hopping around. Oh, it's such a peaceful day out here on the lawn where a man can mow with... Wait a second, folks. We might be in for a look at one of nature's cyclical phenomena. As the missus of the bloke comes out for the routine argument of cutting height, the missus rolls like a lioness by saying that if he keeps mowing the lawn so short, he'll kill the lawn. With a more trepid response, the bloke tells her that he doesn't want to be out there mowing the lawn next week. With a stern look and an intense silence filling the air, the husband concedes and leads down and adjusts the mower's deck height. A wise move by the man, who knows how to fully utilize the power and precision that the grasshopper is capable of. As the chirping of the little grasshopper fills the air, peace returns to nature, and the grasshopper once again starts working its way across the land. With nature returning to its normal routine, it's time to get me out of here. Thanks for listening, mates. This is Frank Irwin here, and this has been another fascinating episode of Crop Critters.
Thank you, Frank. It's always good to hear from him.
Happy made it back this time in one piece. Remember last time you came back without a finger.
That is true. All right, so welcome back to Apple Farm Chatter. We're going to take a quick second here to go over, of course, most of you know Apple Farm Service. We're known for having quite a few different brands of zero-turn mowers, especially mowers here to take care of their yard. So we wanted to go over, just so you know, listeners, some of the different specials that are going on in case you happen to be out there looking to tame your yard with a new mower.
At Apple Farm Service, Grasshopper is having their springboard into savings, where you get $400 off front mount mowers, $300 off mid mount mowers, and $200 off of V-Series mowers. Offer ends May 31st, 2024. Ask about zero financing with Grasshopper. Special discounts for the first responders and veterans.
Kubota. Veterans receive $100 off your next Kubota mower, $200 off compact tractors, and $400 off mid-range tractors. Looking for a BX or L series? Now take $0 or 0% down for 84 months. How about a zero-turn mower? 0% for 48 months on LX zero-turn mowers and M series, or 0% for 60 on diesel turn mowers. 0% for 36 months on RTVs and RTV VX series. Looking for cash off? About $3,300 off the VX 2380, $2,800 off the 23S, $300 off Grand Ls, $1,800 off MX series, $300 off RTVX, $150 off RT520s, and $1,000 off the Sidekick. $0 down, 0% APR for 60 months on the M or MX series tractors, and these specials for Kubota end June 30th.
And for Bad Boy, we have their Bad Boys of America Savings, which is just specials for veterans. We also have 0% financing for up to 48 months, or low-rate financing for no payments for 150 days.
Xmark, $1,500 instant rebate on Vertex E and S Series Stars mowers, or $2,000 instant rebate on the Vertex V Series mowers.
Coyote has the following specials. There is 0% financing for up to 84 months on the CK, CS, and CX series, 0% for 72 months on the DK and NS series, 0% for 84 months, 48 months, not 84, 48 months on the HX, PZ, and RX series, 0% for 36 months on the UTV K9 series, or take cash off on $750. When you add a loader and backhoe, receive $3,100 cash back on the CK series, $2,600 on the CS series, $2,400 on the CX series, $5,200 on the DK series, $5,800 on the HX series and PX series, and $3,400 on the NS series, and $6,500 on the RX series. Purchase an NS, NX, DK, or DK series to receive a free loader.
New Holland, take $5,800 cash back or 0% financing up to 72 months on compact tractors now through the end of July. Case IH, how about 0% for 72 months on a Farmall tractor? And for Echo, the national sales event is going on now for June 15th. Get a free battery when you get a blower combo kit. For Woods, 0% financing for 36 months or no payments for 150 days. And lastly, Bush Hog, the spring blowout sale. $350 off single spindle rotary cutters, $150 off rotary tillers, and up to $600 off flex swing rotary cutters. That is your update for Apple Farm Service specials for your lawn and garden.
We have paid our bills.
Well, I think we're about to finish up here with Apple Farm Chatter here. Brandon, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
I hope you enjoyed your time answering some Dear John letters, telling us about what's going on here at the Ohio Turfgrass Center here, research facility. And we do have something special for you for coming on out. So
we want to thank you for joining us on Apple Farm Chatter with a very special gift. Your extra special gift is just behind one of these 3 doors. Now, which door do you choose? Door 1, door 2, or door 3?
3.
Good choice.
Yes.
Now, let's see what's behind your door. It's an Apple Farm Service baseball cap. You'll be taking home this stylish Apple Farm Service baseball cap. You'll be the envy of anywhere you go, with amazing features like an adjustable snapping back for big heads, a flexible bill to keep the sun out, and mesh backing for breathable comfort on those hot summer days. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a new hat.
Yes.
Just
A winner.
what you always
My
wanted.
hat was so gross today. I had to get a new one.
Well, good. You can have a new one to wear for the rest of the day. But that is it for Apple Farm Chatter here. We Thank you so much for taking the time to check us out. We hope to have a new episode now once a month, so check in always if you want to check us out online on Facebook, on TikTok, on our website, applefarmservice.com. And just thank you so much for joining us. Any last words, Brandon?
Have a good growing season, everyone.
Well said.
Mow your grass often.
Well said.
Thanks, Brandon, for being
Thanks,
here.
Brandon, for joining us
Yeah,
today.
thank you guys.
You rock.
Thank you for listening to Apple Farm Chatter. If you haven't, subscribe today. Want more from Apple Farm Service? Like us on Facebook, follow us on TikTok, and check out our website, applefarmservice.com. Happy farming from your friends at Apple Farm Service and Apple Farm Chatter.